Hello, this is Robert Patrick Master Monaco. You might know me as Monster Messiah, Messiah, Dark Shadow Overlord Messiah, the probably one of the best writers in DRW today. Now I'm going to give you a little backstory onto what happened and what led up to Thursday and why what happened really happened. Need I remind you, this is my side of the story. And I don't really lie on Facebook. Just remember that. This is all on my account. This is all on my perspective. Alright. This actually goes all the way back to last... I would say May, but it was actually before that. I don't know. This basically started when Brandon came back. We basically all forgave him, and he said that he would make WWE Attitude, the original WRP group that ended, and it was actually Jay's group, and he pretty much made it into a news group, which was fine because it wasn't WRP, it wasn't EFED, it wasn't quizzing. It was basically people talking about the WWE and like a general discussion group, and that was all hunky dory. Till one day something shady happened. Don't know if it was for Sean Garner. I don't know who talked him into bringing WRP back to Attitude when it wasn't Brandon's group to bring back, because it wasn't his group to begin with. It was Jay Warren's. And he basically removed everyone's admin and kept himself as admin. And tried to redo the whole process of bringing back WRP. Now, let me remind you, RPMA was not really made to get rid of Brandon or bash Brandon. That's not what RPMA was never made to bash Brandon. It was basically just to get away from all the drama that happened in Attitude and Roleplay Matches, and we just made a new group called Roleplay Matches Attitude, which is actually ran by Kevin Smith and Jay Warren. I just help out. Let's see. Now, there's two differences to WRP and EFED, and I'll get into that a little bit later. First off, why was RPMA really made? And I just told you the reason, but I'll tell you again. It wasn't made because of Brandon. I'm going to throw that out right there, right now. Brandon was gone. He left Facebook. Attitude was there, and Attitude was dying. Roleplay matches were there, and they were sort of dying. So we merged to make one super group. One group dedicated to the originations of what WRP was. And nothing to do with Brandon. So if he ever told you that, that's a whole bunch of rubbish. Because I know the real reason why it was made. And if you ever wanted to know the real reason, you should have just asked me. But no, you have to accuse people, and this is what happens. So, this is what happens next. Brandon has an account, and he goes onto his account, and when he's on that account, he goes around and he starts talking to people, and trust me, I've known Brandon for 3 years. He is a mastermind in using mind games, using mind tricks. Brandon does that. He acts all nice, and then all of a sudden, when he has you by your reins, basically, by your ball and chain, he can turn to be a dick. But he wasn't really being a dick around, when he came back when he came to DRW and started EFED. That was all fine because he promised that he would never do WRP ever again. And he already went back on that promise one time. Okay, next. The KOA, the Kings of Attitude, was a storyline that even Brandon was agreeing on. I'm not bashing anybody. I'm telling you from my story, from what I saw. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But this is my perspective. And usually I'm always telling the truth. You can question me on this. DRW was made around the same time that Brandon left Facebook. I talked to Connor. Connor's like, sure, I'll let you in. And I said, okay, I'll start competing. I started competing. Won my first title because Johnny Gad held the title for 5 months. You know that whole kid and caboodle. He made me writer of Rebellion. This was before I started working my 2 jobs. I ran Rebellion on Wednesdays. And I made Rebellion probably the best show in DRW, aside from the pay-per-views. Because I put in my blood, sweat, and tears in that. Now, Brandon comes back, and, Brandon starts bad-mouthing me and starts spreading lies about me. Yes, he has, some of his promos were promos, and some things in those promos were lies. I can't get to him now because he deactivated, and I can't see his promos because I'm not admin in DRW. To be honest, I don't care if I even get admin back ever again. But I'll get back to that. I'll get to that later. I'm on my vacation. Connor, you knew I was on vacation. You knew I did not want to deal with any dramatics while I was on my vacation for my cousin's wedding. And yet you still added Brandon to add dramatics into the group. That's what it did. It brought drama into the group. I told you. I didn't want to deal with Brandon. I told you I did not. I said, and I told you. I told you what was going to happen if Brandon was in the group. Okay. I come back from my vacation, and I had Rebellion on Wednesday. Okay. I worked about 14 hours that day. So of course I'm tired. And of course, when I'm tired, I don't really get time to type. Now, I had everything written for Rebellion. All I had to do was copy and paste. I go to sleep thinking, okay, let me just post it early Thursday morning. It'll be still okay. Because some shows that I've seen, some of them have gone late an extra day. So I thought, okay. Next thing I know, I wake up, Brandon posts my Rebellion card, and he messes up what I had planned. No one asks me, Rob, are you okay? Could you use some assistance? No one asks me anything. They just assume I'm okay. So, let me tell you, Brandon has this technique where he says bullies and it's yada yada yada, and he tries to make people other groups look bad. It's war tricks. Don't fall for it. If you're a man, be a man and stop letting people get to you. Don't let people run your life. If this is your company, you run it. You don't let other people convince you to do things that you shouldn't be doing. meaning don't show favorites. Now, I show a little favoritism to JM Punk, but if I didn't show favoritism to JM Punk, he would have been used as a jobber. And I guarantee you that I would be right about that. Because every time I see Joey enter a group, they use him as a jobber. And Joey's not a jobber. I look out for Joey. And that's called, being on his backside. Go right ahead. I don't care. So I had Massacre. To be honest, I thought Massacre was better than Rebellion. Let's face it. I take my time into storylines. And Michael Eaton, aka Sean Ripper, grow up. You need to grow up. Because if you work in the real world and you can't stand, if you were in a wrestling company and you couldn't stand a general manager, you would have been fired. It doesn't matter what your position is. You were supposed, people, if you're on a roster, you work for every single writer in a show. That's how it goes. I've been watching wrestling for 25 years. I don't care if you hate me at all. I care about you helping the group out. And when you refuse to work for a writer, that just shows unprofessionalism. And Michael, you know I'm right. I don't care if you hate me. But, sorry to tell you, but if this was real, you probably would have been fired. Now, people keep saying, there's differences between E-Fed and WRP, and it's true. E-Feding is all about promoing. You have the roster, and then you have writers. That's it. There's a huge difference to WRP. WRP, everything is written out. DRW and WRP, everything is like storyline, like the real thing almost. E-Fed is like the real thing also, just that it's written out, and that's it. Now, bullies. RPMA, we don't bully people. We're in character. If you can differentiate between character and out of character, then you shouldn't be in the group to begin with. Now, we give people shots. Kenny Gatlin, you're one of them. We gave you chance after chance after chance. And all you wanted was title shot, title shot, title shot, title shot, title shot. And I am telling the truth about that. You go into the group, fine. You can have a title shot. Just be active. That's all we care about. Jerome Wells, he accused us of cheating. And he accused me of stealing one of his groups. No. Jerome Wells, see, this is what happened. In a match that he was in, he was in a match, he was pinned. Now I can say, yeah, some people could have treated him better, and I always stood up for him. So this is what happened in the match. 1, 2, 3. He kicks out at 2 after the person writes 3. Now, you tell me if that's screwing somebody, because it's not. If you fail to enter kicks out before the person writes 3, you lost. Plain and simple. And then he wants to accuse me of stealing his groups? Are you kidding me? I have 2 jobs. I work 14 to 15 hours a day. Do you think I have time to care about some meaningless group that people run? I'm in there for my leisure and to have fun and meet people that like wrestling as much as I do. So, this leads to Thursday. I really don't know how it started or why